What's up guys, welcome to the channel, and in this playlist we have learned about everything from the basics to the advanced level. Now I can tell you that you have got some knowledge of the advanced Python. As you can see, we started from zero and now we are on our journey to become a hero in Python. So we started from print and now there are over 40 videos in this playlist, and if you guys haven't accessed it, make sure you do. The link will be in the description. So this in this video actually I'm going to talk about how we can use the map, filter and the reduce function in Python. Now guys, what are these functions? I'll talk about these functions one by one, that what is map, then I'll talk about what is filter and what is reduce. So first of all, I'll open my PyCharm ID here. As you can see, it is opened. So I'll make a new Python file and I'll name this as map underscore filter and underscore reduce, because I'm going to talk about these three functions in the same video. Now guys, I promised you that I am going to take you from the zero level of Python to the hero level of Python, that is from the beginners level to the advanced level. And to fulfill my promise, I have to take some steps, and this is one of them actually. I decided to make these functions in a single video because these functions are really important in Python. And guys, if you want to learn about advanced Python and if you want to learn about the Pythonic way of doing things, this video is definitely the one to watch. So what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to talk about the map function. Now what is the map function? A map function is something that it takes a function and it takes a list, and for example, if you want to run the function on every item of the list, you can do that with the help of map function. So for example, if I make a list right here and if I write some objects, so I'll write 34 and after that I'll put 5, then 4, then 3, and then I'll put 90 right here. So as you can see that I've put some numbers but they are in the string form, and if I want to increment these numbers, that is if I want to make this 35, if I want to make this 5, 4 and 91, how am I going to do that? So for example, if I want to make this 4 right here, I want to make it 5, so I can write it like this. I can write less, and after that I'll write 2 because the 4 is at index 2, and after that I can write list 2 is equal to int. I'll typecast it into integer form because it's in the string form, and after that I'll put a +1 right here. So if I run this program, as you can see, it hasn't printed anything because I haven't printed the list. So now if I print the list, as you can see, it will print 5 right here, but it has printed it in the int form, and I basically wanted it to print in the int form, so no worries. And guys, for example, if I want to make it for every item right here, that is for 34, for 5, for 3 and 90, what I can do that now I can run a for loop. So I can write for item in list. After that I can write item is equal to item, and then I'll write an int here. So I'll write int and then I'll write +1. So as you can see, I have written item for item in list, item is equal to int item +1, but it is giving me a sort of an error because the item is not defined basically. So guys, if you want to change an object, you need to do it with the help of the index value. So for that purpose, I'm going to make the use of range function. Now I've talked about the range function in my Python playlist, and for the real ones who are watching this video, they might know what is the range function. So as you can see, the range function, it takes a stop value. So I'm going to write len of list, that is the length of the list, and the length of the list is 1 2 3 4 5. So my range function, it will make the item go from 0 1 2 3 4 5, and after that, for example, if I write list, and I'll have to put this in square brackets, and I'll put a list right here as well, and I'll comment this out. So if I run this program right here, as you can see, it has printed, and it has basically incremented every item by 1, that is it has made 35 6 5 4 91. So it's basically done the thing that we wanted, and it has done its job. Now guys, is this a more feasible way? Should we make the use of for loop if we have easier methods and good methods? No, right? We should not make the use of for loops, because if you're a beginner you might not focus on program optimization, but that's what this Python playlist focuses on. That is, if you want to make your program a bit optimization, that is if you want the running time to be a bit faster, then what you can do is that you can make the use of some simpler functions like map, filter and reduce. And if I, for example, if I comment this out, and now I'll make the use of map function in order to do the same thing. So if I write, I'll basically have to write a new list. So I'll write new list, and after that I'll put map. So as you can see guys, when I write map, it takes a function, and after that it takes an iterable object. Now this map function right here, it returns an iterable object. So if I'll basically have to put a function right here, and I can make the use of lambda functions right here. That is the one liner function, and we have talked about it in my Python for Absolute Beginners playlist. So right now basically I'm going to define a function. I will be writing the lambda function afterwards, but I'm just going to explore some different things in this video. So this function right here, it basically takes an I, and after that it returns the int of I plus 1. So if I write func, and basically you have to write the function name right here, you don't have to write the brackets. So you have to write the function, and after that you have to put in the iterable object. In this case the object that I want to use is list, so I'm going to write list. And if I print new list, as you can see it will print an object right here, because as I told you, the map, it returns an object. So I'll have to put a list right here. So I'll typecast this object into a list, because we are basically using a list in the map function. So it will provide us an object that can be typecasted to a list. So if I run this program right here, as you can see it is printed 35, 6, 5, 4, 91, the things that we wanted. And the things that we could accomplish with the map function is similar that we could do with the for loop. So this is a better method, this is a more Pythonic way of doing these kind of things. And you can use map functions for many purposes. For example, this is not the only instance where you can use it. If I comment this out, and if I comment this out as well, and I'll comment this out as well, and if I write another example here, so I'll make a list, and I'll put a horizontal line here, because you guys will know that what is happening, as I'll have to give you the source code. And guys, the source code will be in the comment section below. I'll put a comment down for the source code so you can access it from there. So right now what I'll do is that I'll make a list. So I'll write 1 2 3 4 5, and after that what I can do is that I'll do the same thing that I did here. That is, I want to increment this. So I'm going to write new list, and after that I'll write map, and after that I'll make the use of lambda functions. Now in lambda functions you have to write lambda, and after that you don't have to write the name of the functions, because it's basically a one liner function. So I'm going to write the parameter and what it returns. So x plus 1, the lambda function returns x plus 1. And if I provide list right here, and I'll have to print new list, I'll put some new line characters so that the code looks a bit fresh. And if I run this program right here, as you can see it has given me an object, so I'll have to typecast it into a list. And if I run it again, as you can see it has given me the output that I earlier wanted. And this is basically how we can use lambda functions inside the map function. And this is how we can use the map function basically. Now this is not the only instance where you can use. I'll comment this and I'll give you another example. I'm really sorry, I just wanted to give you an example of how we can use the lambda functions. So now what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to define a function. So I'm going to write def, and I'll write cube, and this basically takes an a variable. So this returns a into a into a. Now for the people who do not know what cube is basically the multiplication of a number 3 times by it. So if you have 2, the cube of 2 is 2 into 2 into 2, that's 8. And if you have 3, the cube of that is 27. So after that I'll write a square function. Now the square function is basically a function that returns the square of it. So it returns a into a. And after that what I'm going to do is that I'm going to declare a list, and I'm going to write square comma cube. As you can see, I haven't returned the whole function parenthesis as well. I've just written the name of the functions right here. So I have put list is equal to square comma cube, and after that I'm going to make the use of map function. So if I write new list is equal to map, and after that if I write I'll basically have to run a for loop in order to get the variables a. So I'll put for I in range, and I want it to print from 0 to 7. So it will print 0 0, and after that 1 1, then 4 8, because the cube of 2 is 4, and the cube of 2 is 8 and the square of 2 is 4. So I'll write for I in range 7. So I'll write map, and after that I'll put a lambda function. So I'll write lambda and x, and it gives out x of I. So I'll write x of I, and after that I'll provide the list. So if I run this program right here, basically I'll have to put it inside a list. So I'll write print, and after that I'll put it inside a list. And if I run this program right here, as you can see, it has printed 1 1 0 0 1 1 4 8 9 27 16 64, and it has printed it till 6. So guys, what has happened right here, let me explain it to you. First of all, what my for loop did is that it initialized the I variable with 0, because that's what the range function does. When you put 7 right here, the I will go from 0 to 6. So I will be 0 at the first iteration, and after that, as you can see that in the map function right here, I put lambda x gives x I, and after that I have provided the list. So now the list contains the two function names, that is square and cube. So when you provide lambda x gives xi, as you can see, it gives in the I, but the I was 0 at the first case. So it will use the functions of the list right here, that is square and cube. It will write 0 0 because the square of 0 is 0, cube of 0 is 0, and similarly it will do it for the other iterations. So when I is equal to 2, it will give 4 and 8, and just like that it will make the use of map functions. Now guys, for simplicity right now I'm just going to run the square function. So what I can do is that I can make a new list, and I'll basically comment everything out because I have to give you the code afterwards. So I'll comment this out, and I'll make a new list. Now I'm giving many examples for the map function right here, so that no confusion arises in the comment section, and even if it does, you can just write it down. So what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to make a comment right here, and I'll put a horizontal line. Now I'll write def sq, it takes an argument, and after that it returns a into a. And for example, if I have a list and I'll put 3 comma anything, I'll put a 2 right here, and after that if I write new list is equal to map, and then I'll have to provide the function name, and after that list, and if I print new list, and basically I'll have to typecast it into list. So I keep on forgetting that, I don't know why. So I'll have to print the new list. So if I run this program right here, as you can see, it has printed 9 comma 16 comma 9, and it basically has put in the square of every element right here at their respective places, and that's what I wanted it to do. And we can do this with the help of lambda functions as well. So I'll put lambda right here, and this takes an x, and it returns an x into x. And if I run this program right here, as you can see, it has given me the same output. So I hope guys that you understood how the map function works, and this was a bit complicated. I understand the square comma cube one, because basically what we did is that in this list we put in the function names. So you can do that, and you can make the use of map function right here. That is, if you want the I to go from a specific number to another number, and you want the square and cube of it, then what you can do is that you can make a list, and after that you can basically define the lambda functions in this as well. So you can write lambda, and after that you can write x into x, and after that you can similarly do that for cube. And you can do this in a list, so there's no problem in that. And basically this is how you can make the use of the map function. So now I'm going to discuss about the filter function. Now what is the filter function, guys? So the filter function basically filters everything inside the list. Now you must be telling that, are you joking, the filter function does only that? Yes guys, basically the filter function, it takes a function and after that it takes a list. So the function has to return some kind of a boolean variable that is true or false, and according to that the filter function will filter every object. So if I write a list right here, and I'll basically have to specify that this is from where the filter starts. So I'll write filter and I'll put a horizontal line here as well, and I'll copy this and I'll paste it right here as well. So this is from where the map function starts, and after that what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go inside my filter function and I'll minimize this a bit and I'll put this here. So now what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to define a list. I'm going to write list is equal to 2 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8 comma 9. And after that, if I want the list to only have the numbers greater than 6 or equal to 6, what I can do is that now I can define a function and I'll name this function as greater than 6, and after that it basically takes a number and it returns num greater than 6. That is, this is a boolean right here, num greater than 6. So it returns boolean, that is, if I provide 8 inside it, it will return true, or else if I provide 2 inside it, it will return false. So I'll make the use of the filter function. So I'll write new list is equal to filter, and after that I'll write greater than. As you can see, it takes a function right here. I haven't written anything and my PyCharm ID is telling me that you need to put a function and after that you need to put an iterable object. So I'm going to put the function and you just need to provide the function name, and after that I'm going to put list. So if I print new list, and the filter function right here, it also returns an object, so we'll need to typecast it. And basically I'll not typecast it right here, I'll just show you what it returns. So as you can see, it returns the filter object, so I'll have to typecast it into list. And if I run this program right here, as you can see, it is giving me 7 8 and I wanted to print it a number greater than or equal to 6. So if I run this program right here, as you can see, it is giving me 6 7 8 9. So that's how, guys, the filter function works. Basically you can provide a condition and it is better than the for loop. Basically you might tell me that we can also do this with the help of a for loop. For example, if I write wait a minute, I'll comment this out. And if I write new list is equal to a blank list, and after that if I write for item in list, and after that I'll put if item is greater than or equal to 6, then it should append it inside the new list. So I'll write new list dot append item, and after that if I print the new list, as you can see, it will print everything similar to it, that is 6 7 8 9. But as you can see, guys, that it is such a pain to do this. As you can see, we wrote the for loop, then we wrote the if statement, then we wrote the print, and we basically had to declare an empty list. So this is not a Pythonic way of doing it, and we can use less lines in order to do this. Now I'm not telling you guys that you need to use less lines in order to write a perfect code. I'm just trying to tell you that you need to move towards the optimization of a program. Now there may be many advanced Python programmers also watching this, and they might be thinking that I need to go near the optimization of the program. That is, if you want to make the Python programs running time a bit more faster, then you can watch this video and you can do all these kinds of stuff. But guys, for the beginners right now, I'm telling you that this is a more Pythonic way, and if you can do this, why not try it as well? So you can do this with the help of this method as well, but this is a more better method of doing it and a more feasible method. So now here I have discussed about the filter function, and I hope that you guys understood how the filter function works. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to discuss about the reduce function. So I'm going to write reduce, and after that I'm going to write the reduce. I'm basically going to import it. So if I write reduce right here, it will give me an error because it doesn't know what the reduce function is. So now the reduce function is inside a module named functools. So we'll have to write from functools import reduce. And this reduce function, basically what it does is that it provides you a better method of doing things. For example, if I have a list right here and I'll put 1 2 3 4 5 6 and I'll put 4 elements right here. So as you can see, I've put in some elements, and if I want the list to provide me the addition of everything, that is 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 3 6, and after that 6 plus 4 10. So I wanted to provide 10. So what you guys can do is that now you can write num is equal to 0, and after that you can run a for loop. So I'll write for item in list, and after that you can put num is equal to num plus item, and after that you will print the num. So here you get your answer, and when I run this program, as you can see, it is giving me a 10. Now guys, is this a feasible method of doing this? Is this a Pythonic method of doing this? No, right? We have better methods in Python, and we can do that with the help of the reduce function. So if I comment this out, and right now I'll comment the num as well. So I'll put num is equal to reduce, and after that I'll have to provide a function, and I'll have to provide a sequence, that is the iterable object. So basically map, filter and reduce had something in common, that is first they took a function and after that they took an iterable object. So that's a simpler way in order to memorize it. And guys, I'm repeating it again that you don't need to memorize it, you just need to practice it more so that it can help you in your Python programming. So now what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to define a lambda function. So I'm going to write lambda takes x comma y, and after that it gives you x plus y, and I'll give the list. So if I print the num and if I run this program right here, as you can see, it gives me 10 that we wanted. And what has happened here is that when I provided lambda x comma y gives x plus y, and when I provided list here, what my reduce function did is that it took two numbers first of all, and it made one as x and two as y, and after that it provided 3, and it made this as 3 1 comma 2, and after that it took 3 comma 3, then it provided 6, and then it took in 6 comma 4 and it provided 10. So I hope guys that you understood map, filter and reduce functions in Python. This code will be available to you in the comment section below. And guys, if you haven't accessed my Python for Absolute Beginners playlist, the link is in the description. And guys, there will be more videos coming on this channel, so if you haven't subscribed and liked this video, please make sure that you do. Machine learning playlist will be coming as well. And thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope you're safe, and I'll see you next time.